welcome to my channel, or welcome back, loyal viewers. I'm Kerry, the nosy housefrau, and today I'm sticking my nose in on a variety of topics. I have some catching up to do. I've been away for a few days. For those of you who don't know, my beloved mother-in-law passed away last Friday, and it's been a somber time. But I want to thank each and every person who sent me condolences on Twitter. I received literally hundreds after I posted about my mother-in-law's death. So I thank you so, so much. It really got me through a tough time. I've been, not just feeling bad for myself, but comforting my grieving husband, who also loved his mother very much. Of course, she was wonderful. So thank you. I'm really coming out of it. The older I get, the faster I go through the stages of grief, because I try to live as much life as I can and laugh, love, the whole thing. And I'm glad we're all alive at the same time. There's precious time. And the drama, of course, waits for no woman, so I have to catch up on it and come back and support all the other channels that I care so much about. But I was reading these comments. Every time I went to Twitter, there was something lovely that someone had posted for me. And on the way back, I was telling my husband it was kind of hard because as an Irish person, I usually find something to laugh about at a funeral. That's just the way we do things. And this was just somber, depressing. And I thought, am I ever going to laugh again? It just was so sad. And I was trying not to cry very much. It's so silly, but I didn't want to cry in front of other people. And so I just, had a hard time. And on the way back, I went to look at, tweets just, to make me feel more consoled, because there were just such an outpouring, even from people who had their own losses, people who've suffered, suffered a loss even in the last weeks, were offering me condolences. And I went on there to feed my soul a little bit, get a little chicken soup for the soul. And I saw this. Something to laugh about. We're driving in the car. I said to my husband and my son, I made the dregs list. My son's like, yeah, isn't that where we got our couch? On dregs list? I'm like, no, that was Ashley furniture and highly overpriced, but I like the way he thinks. So, hi Willabeans, come on up. Say hi to everybody, they love you. So that just, for some reason, made me laugh. And let's just be clear about something. I'm honored to be among those dregs. I'm honored to be in that group of people. Truly, I am. But they have a lot more followers than me. And I just feel, I'm not trying to be a wuss. I just think that level of hate is above my pay grade. I mean, I'm not getting the checks cut to me that make that very worthwhile, one could say. Anyway, oh, you gotta love the internet. It cracks me up. As you know, all roads lead to Jeffrey and Manny MUA. Which side are you on? And that's all people can see. I just feel like life has become a series of false dichotomies. And that's all it is. You got to stick your flag in the ground in the right place, or you're a racist, or you're a dreg. So first up, it's always darkest before the Dawson. And I say this because one of the things that stood out to me the most out of that whole video that had the robbery, the building of the pallet, the merch, everything else, I was really stunned that he said something I always say, which is, before something wonderful happens, something bad always happens. I have been saying that for years. I call it the obstacles. There's either one, sometimes two obstacles. And by the way, my mother-in-law's death is not an obstacle before something good. It's usually not something that terrible. But usually it's something like, let's say you're going to go somewhere and then you've got like a problem with your passport. Like before my son got Kittredge, I had trouble. A package got lost, and it was very important because it was a notarized letter from my husband saying I could take my son out of the country, and I really needed that letter. I had to go through hell to get it, but the payoff was we were free to go and have this amazing, wonderful time. I have noticed this so many times, so I was blown away that someone else noticed that too, and it made me wonder, if it has to do with that old idiom, it's always darkest before the dawn. Perhaps that's why we think that way, but it's there has to be a lot more people who've noticed this. Have any of you? There's this thing where I have found that before something good happens, something bad happens. And I think that's a better way to look at it rather than waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I was kind of floored that somebody else thought that, and a little bit validated since it was somebody so successful. Speaking of which, his merch sold out in less than 20 minutes. That's amazing. That is huge, huge. So he's not going to be broke. I mean, it's just such a successful collaboration. And of course, everybody saw the way Jeffrey just attacked all of those colors, and they just swatched them and went through them. And, you know, there's a reason why Jeffrey's palettes are good, and that's because he notices the payoff. If it's not pigmented enough, he goes back to the drawing board. Let's do it. Please add some more. And I think we all have bought makeup that the payoff wasn't as emphasized. And I really think that's, in his case, you know, he's being pound wise, not just penny wise, pound foolish. Sorry, I had to think of what that was. So that just blew me away. We got details about how Jeffrey's place was broken into, the hole in the roof, how it was like a professional operation, and that was just creepy beyond belief, just horrible and horrific, and seemed to handle it pretty well. But the armed guards things was interesting to me. Like, apparently, you know, that's like gold bullion, because if you can steal that stuff, the more you're gonna get a lot of money for it. People know what it costs. I can't believe people, you know, get away with that. I guess it's a big ring operation for stealing merch, and that's scary. So much theft. So I'm glad that they've beefed up their security and are going to take precautions so that doesn't happen again. But it was really wonderful to see their friendship, of course, to see the birth of a palette and how it all goes down. Right from the swatches in the other one, excuse me, those color wheels and the things they were looking at. It was all very interesting, and how this story came about. And it seemed like Shane was getting a little more confident with naming things and checking things and swatching things. He's catching on very quickly, and that's pretty great. So that's all I had to say about that one. I'm looking forward to more, and I'm very happy for his success. So next up is Jaclyn Hill. Her ceiling caved in her bedroom because there was a problem with the air conditioning unit. She had a video out about moving. I did not watch it, but I saw clips here and there about the move, how she is supposedly temporarily in LA. Thank God she wasn't home. Even with the ceiling being wet, that could have been fatal. That's really scary. I think I would have a little post-trauma, wouldn't you? Like knowing you just missed something that could have killed you, if not really, really hurt you. You would have, at the very least, been concussed in your sleep. And that could kill you if you didn't wake up. I apologize. I'm fighting a cold, I think. So that was really scary. And there was a picture of her in a shopping cart, and people were saying, you know, she's got $2,000 slippers on. What are you doing sitting on your groceries in the shopping cart? I had no problem with that picture. It's just like her videos. If you like her, you'll like it. If you don't, you won't like it. I didn't have an opinion either way. I thought it looked kind of funny. I like people who color outside the lines. So I didn't really have a problem with that. But at the same time, I don't like to see something disruptive in the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm the one who's going to have to go around her to get the matzo ball soup, and she's going to be right there parked in front of it, taking her pictures. Got the person with the camera was on the other side of the aisle, so you know they're blocking the aisle. I'm just saying. There was probably no one there, and it was the middle of the night. Who cares? People were saying she was in her pajamas, and that's not. There was a tweet about it and saying that it wasn't very classy. And I have to tell you, I understand why people don't like Jaclyn. I do. I can't get behind creating an account that is to parody someone. It just, I'm not very comfortable with it. Unless it's an Onision, of course, or Cookian. All bets are off with those two. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I was at a funeral this week, but my perspective on things is changing a little bit, and I I think you can, if you don't like someone, I think you can ignore them and move on. It's okay to report on the news, but I don't think you should spend time in your life actively disliking someone, because what happens is that's a beast that needs to be fed. And I do have a video coming up on that, and that touches upon that in the near future. So put that little tab in your head. And that's all I had to say about that. Oh, but wait. I was watching Tea by Allie today because I'm catching up on everybody's videos. And she had in there that Jaclyn is staying in a $10,000 a night or 10.5 a night mansion on Airbnb while her place gets one. I don't know if insurance is covering that. I don't know what the deal is, and maybe it's her friend's house. We don't know. But she's certainly living a lavish lifestyle while not addressing the refunds that people are still waiting for from her Sasquatch makeup that she was trying to sell or had a problem with. So, oh, you know what? I just found out I can look into my camera, but by habit I'm not. So I apologize. I will try to keep the eye contact. So, what do you guys think? An Airbnb for 10,000 a night, is that a little bit much when you owe people? Because when you think about it, there should have been insurance for that problem anyway. So maybe they're waiting for it to come in. I don't know. I'm not going to judge completely, but it doesn't bode well for her that she's really living in the lap of luxury and people still haven't gotten refunds for their fuzzy lipstick. Come on, Jaclyn. Again, I've said this before. From everything I seem to know about her, I just think Jaclyn is a coaster and really has ADHD. She's very much that girl who'd be like, do you remember? She reminds me. I won't say she is that person. She reminds me of that girl in high school who just always made excuses for her own things that were her own fault. Like, I couldn't do my homework. My locker was jammed, Mr. McCoy. I couldn't do it. There's just always something, but really she doesn't want to focus on anything. And that's why she not only had bad product, she resent out bad product. You have to be paying no attention at all. You have to just be like, I have people for that. And when she trusted the wrong people, she probably just tried to trust other people. I don't understand how that could have happened twice. But again, I don't think she's evil. I just think for me, like, she posted this tweet that said, would we all get along? And if we all knew each other, I wonder if we'd all get along. Probably that's true. And Nick posted probably. I think if I were in a room, I like fun people. I like people who color outside the lines. I do. But I have a feeling she might be one of those people that it would be in small doses. And I don't know if I could overlook the fact that she's having a great time while people are suffering, waiting for her to make something right. That might take the wind out of the sails of what I would find humorous. That being said, I don't think she's evil by any means. I just think she's not focused. I think she's irresponsible and she's not focused. I don't think she belongs being the CEO of a company. Just because you're pretty and you want to be doesn't necessarily make you qualified. And she could be taking this opportunity to really show how qualified she is. Like, I mean, at least Shane Dawson is like, here I am at ground zero. I'm starting at the beginning. I'm learning. I'm building it up. But he's trying and he's paying attention and he's hands-on. And I think if she applied that same thing, she would be more worthy. That's just my take on it. So a little bit ago, people had said to me, James Charles got a puppy. Is anybody going to talk about it? And I thought, that's ridiculous. I looked at 3 seconds of it, and here he was giving the little doggy water and loving on it. What is there to report? I can't shade him for that. But then something stuck out to me about the puppy. He said he rescued it. And it was gnawing at me, because I've never seen a purebred golden retriever at a rescue. So people just don't surrender them. And a puppy, it's highly unlikely unless they were rescuing them from a puppy mill. So anyway, I went back because it was nagging at me, gnawing at me, sticking in my craw. And so I went back and watched it yesterday. And sure enough, there he is. He starts out at the shelters looking at all the pit mixes that you see at shelters all the time. And then he goes to a PetSmart, and then he goes there. But then he says in his car, he told everybody he was looking for a puppy, and his friend's neighbor had puppies and just wanted them to go to good homes. What? No, I'm skeptical. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was reluctant to say anything because people nitpick at him for so much that he'll just say people are nitpicking and it's a preposterous thing to say. But I think it's a reasonable skepticism here, aside from the fact that he is a confirmed liar. He says he looks away. Oh, they're not a breeder. They just want to get the puppies good homes. So his friend's neighbor has a purebred golden retriever that accidentally got pregnant by a purebred golden retriever. He actually says in the video, let me know what you think that puppy is down below. How can anybody not know what it is? It's a golden retriever. I'm looking right at it. It doesn't have any pit features. It doesn't have any other Labrador features. It looks like, go ahead and look up English golden retriever. It's still golden retriever, but it's a light coated one. They call them English. Sometimes they're called pure, whatever, platinum. Just English golden retriever. Look at that. You will see a carbon copy of the rescue puppy that James Charles has. And I'm a little skeptical that somebody just happened to have that the day he's looking for a puppy. There's in a couple of places in LA, there are breeders of that dog. I checked. So I think that it's possible he didn't want it to look like he shopped instead of adopt. Shop, don't shop, adopt. Shoo op, do op. You tell me what you think. Is that puppy, does that look like a rescue to you that somebody would just give away? Not in my experience, and I have a lot of experience with critters. I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything is possible. I mean, he might know a lot of bougie people who just, oh, look, another litter of Shar-Peis. What are we going to do with them? But I'm skeptical. Well, that's it for my first video. Back might be a little rusty, but I'm going to get back in the saddle and be back up here soon. So if you've listened this far, I so appreciate you. As always, I will be hawking my merchandise and my Patreon in the description down below. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, patron saints of Patreon, and I will be back on there doing a live stream tomorrow. Until next time, everybody, Hausfrau out.